Nationalism is described when black Muslims, black Christians, black Hebrews, black Moorish people, black Egyptologists, Afrocentric belief systems, all of them unite and understand that there is but one family. We do not unite on the basis of that we're just black and we're going to walk around and just say we're black and we're not going to accomplish anything. Because if you actually study the origins of your belief system, whether you believe that you're the black Christians and that trace back to Ethiopia, Abyssinia, or the Coptics, if you believe that you are a black Egyptian, that trace back to Nile Valley civilizations, if you believe that you're a Cushite or you're a Nubian, if you believe that you are the descendant of Ishmael, the first son of Abraham, or if you believe that you are in the bloodline between Isaac and that you are a Hebrew Israelite, now comes the time to unite the groups. Because prior to Peckerwood, Cracker, Man Snatcher, Continent Jacker, coming down from the north, as we all like to teach about and say, there had to be some type of corruption, imperfection. There had to be some type of misguidance or corruption in leadership in order for us to be distracted, when that we could never ever conceive of an enemy circling around Africa in ships and then singling out various different rival groups and taking them down one by one. You understand? When the European powers attacked Egypt, what do you think that the ancient Israelites did? They sat back, turned their head, and watched. When the European powers, what you call Esau or Edom, when they latched on to the ancient Hebrew Israelites, what do you think that the people of the Yoruba system did? What do you think people of the Moorish Empire did? So the man from the north was able to use our differences and then single out us and select us one by one and take us out one by one. So we actually can say that the European powers gave us a challenge that if we had learned from it, it would upgrade our defense systems. And one of the greatest defense systems that we could ever latch on to is unity. It's seeing the greater family emerging out of many families. Out of many families should come one family. Because the enemy from the north, it was France, it was Germany, it was Russia, it was England, it was Newfoundland, it was Switzerland, it was all of these companies, and they were corporations. They were groups of different nationalities from the north who united and accepted one agenda. That is to go around the world and set up outposts. That's why we have an invasion of what we call now today Australia. We had an invasion of what we now call South America. We had an invasion of what we now call Africa. We had an invasion of what we now call East Asia, Asia, all the epicenters of where people of color dwell. The Europeans, those particular Europeans who were united in orders, the New World Order, the Illuminati, and various different systems like this, they came as a united force, may have presented themselves in many different facets, France, Germany, but it was a united goal to set up a new world order, to rape, rob, and pillage a global people. We are a global people, and we should see ourselves as global people. Because we did not see ourselves as a global people, there was an enemy who came in with an agenda, and he was organized. What he found is that he found a brilliant people, a creative people, and a people who had some sort of understanding of things. But one thing they did not comprehend is that their bickering, their arguing, and their disunity would one day pose a great distraction. And I want to term it again, a great distraction. Because the whole moral of the story of the European transatlantic slave trade, or the whole story of the European conquest for world domination, could only have been successful if it was a great distraction. And the great distraction is that black people or people of color around the world had beefs and disagreements over resources, over ideologies. And that became so much of a focal point that they became distracted. And here we are today in 2010. We have an approaching or an emerging or the surfacing of something that was already there. You call it New World Order. You call it American Union. You call it World Health Organization. You call it white Eurocentric supremacy. And we have not till this date of this recording come to some type of resolution that we are going to unite and we're going to merge and we're going to form a government that will ensure that no other force, outside force or external force, will distract us away from nationalism. That in itself is the beginning of a revolution, because it's a revolution that's starting in the mind. The revolution that starts in the mind is an intangible event. I would call it an epiphany or a paranormal event, because as it stands today, the normal events is that we are divided. The normal events are that we are so distracted between arguments between the Nation of Islam, between the nation of God's and earth, between the Moorish Americans, between the Black Christian Church, between the Black Hebrew Israelites. And this is our focal point. And we honestly believe that we are going to achieve some type of benefits from this. I am here to tell you that history is here to reward the researcher. That if you would pay attention to the cycles of history that have taken place not only among black people, but when European powers were divided, outside forces dominated them. When Asian people were divided, outside forces dominated them. When they were divided, I don't care what people around the globe, the people that you see who are successful today, the nations that you see who are successful today, and the nations that you see who are in a position to defend themselves, they are united in solidarity. They are united in a common ancestry or a common family that makes them do away with the differences, that makes them do away with the distraction, and I call it again the great distraction. The great distraction is that I can't seem to unite with somebody who looks like me, who believes something different than me, so long as that belief system does not lead to the conformity of an outside power that wants to seek to dominate the mental resources, the physical resources, and the economic resources of our people. I say black power, I say assalamu alaikum, I say shalom, I say Islam, I say Rastafari, I say any salutation to my people, regardless to your belief system, so long as they are not criminal, so long as they are not degenerate, immoral, and that they are not outside of the norms of what we know that is a black family, a black nation, and a black state. Let us unite. Let us understand that revolution is against the things that are in your own life also. Because remember, the Armageddon is in the valley of Jehoshaphat. And Jehoshaphat means decisions, and decisions take place in your mind. So understand that you can go with inside your own self, just like I must do, because I am not perfect, and I must go inside of my life and change things that I don't like about myself. Revolution begins within, and it will change things without. Black power, freedom or death, freedom or life.